Hello, lovely weirdos! Yesterday I learned what my actual bra size is, which is both sad, scary, and a little bit depressing because I'm old enough to vote and drink and drive, yet I still don't know how to properly dress myself. I realized that I don't know the basics about a garment that I've been wearing since the 2nd grade, and I didn't have boobs in the 2nd grade, but I convinced my mom, well, I more pleaded that I needed a bra, that it would prevent indecent exposure, and I wasn't going around, like, flashing people, although I did actually flash the TV like Regina George's little sister does in Mean Girls. I did do that once or twice just to see what was going on, but I convinced my mom to buy me a bra because I studied martial arts when I was younger. I wasn't strong enough to really tie my belt tight, so after I sparred, my robe like little thing that I was wearing would come open and I would pretend I was Marilyn Monroe and be like, oh, don't look! There was nothing really to see, but I really just wanted to be like Marilyn Monroe or like my curvy, beautiful mom who had this big, elaborate collection of bras. Monkey see, monkey do. But I never really understood the utility of bras, nor did I understand what thongs were for when I got one. I only got a thong in the first place because I was changing in middle school in the girls' change room and these girls were like, nice granny panties! And I was like, Mom, we have to get me a thong ASAP! They're on to me, they know I'm lame. So I have a thong now. But the odd thing is, I really like bras and panties. I really like lingerie. When I'm wearing a matching bra and panties, even if I'm wearing something super bulky, I don't know, it just makes me feel really good, like a supervillain. Like I could rip my clothes off at any second and be just this superhero, power-hungry megalomaniac, maybe. Maybe not. Maybe it'll be something good. But despite the fact that these things make me feel very feminine and put together, I still never really knew what bras really are, what they're for, or where they came from. So I decided to educate myself on the history of women's underwear, and it actually ended up being one of the most interesting and thought-provoking rabbit holes I've ever gone down. Underwear, as we currently know it, is a relatively new development. The brassiere, which is kind of like the baby version of the current bra that we have today, didn't come into mainstream Western fashion until around 1910. That means bras have only really been around for about a century, and the same thing goes for panties. No one really saw a use for the tight, form-fitting, and often constricting panties that we wear today. Women just wore like long drawers under their giant skirts with a big crack in the middle so they didn't have to take anything down when they peed. But the main utility of those long drawers they wore is so if their big skirts came up, then you would see, you know, drawers rather than legs and a butt. What really dominated the underwear scene for a very long time, especially for the elites, was the corset. And the corset did a lot of stuff. It lifted and shaped your boobs, it made your posture perfect, it shrunk your waist down to whatever size waist was fashionable at the time, and whatever body type was as well. Sometimes it was big shoulders and a flat chest, sometimes it was little shoulders and a huge chest. People always just played with their proportions, and I really feel like 19th century fashion reminds me a lot of the modern day wedding dress, and I never realized how much tradition and just kind of perspective of what the female figure should be is kind of localized in the wedding dress. Waist training, otherwise known as tight lacing, otherwise known as squeezing your waist in so you can have a fashionable figure, has been a subject of controversy and vitriolic arguments for a very long time, and it has conveniently been brought back by the Kardashian-Jenner clan, who keep Instagramming themselves in these tiny little waist cinchers and going, hey, I love my waist trainer, you can buy it here, which seemed kind of harmless to me at first, but I decided to look into corsetting because that's where the history of underwear brought me to in my rabbit hole, and I realized that, like, shrinking your waist is a very expensive lifestyle choice that takes a lot of time and commitment and education to even try to do it safely. Any respected corset maker would forbid you from buying a factory-made waist cincher. They put pressure on all of your internal organs, whereas a good corset will only do it in a certain area, not too high and not too low. If it's too low, it'll screw up your colon. If it's too high, it'll probably screw up everything. It is a very particular art. It takes a very long time. It's not a quick fix. It's something that you have to keep doing because it undoes itself. It's pretty serious. Dita Von Teese, who is a notable tight lacer with a 22-inch waist, a beautiful figure, and is in very good health, described the whole Kim Kardashian thing as the blind leading the blind. There is no way to cheaply and safely do this, and in our Forever 21 society, the whole waist cinching thing is very dangerous, but I just hope no one gets hurt. I mean, people can do what they want, I just hope no one gets hurt. Back to bras though, a lot of women wear bras, and a lot of women really enjoy it. It's been said that wearing a bra can actually promote sagging, because if it just sits there, defying gravity gravity and being completely immobile, then atrophy can happen, ligaments can be rendered useless, and sagging can ensue. What's even more interesting than that to me is that the really restrictive panties we've been wearing these days, especially ones that are made from synthetic materials, gynecologists think that those really aren't that great for our hoo-has. They collect a lot of moisture, there's no circulation, there's no airflow, and it can kind of throw your system off down there a little bit and promote infections, particularly yeast infections. 3 out of 4 women in the modern day will get at least one yeast infection in their lives, so it's pretty common. There's actually a gynecologist at NYU who says that you should sleep commando because it's probably the best thing you can do for your hoo-ha, but probably not wearing panties would be the best, but with skinny jeans you kind of have to, you know? Despite all of the interesting and sometimes scary stuff I've learned about underwear, I'm still gonna keep wearing bras because I actually really like bras, especially when they fit well. I actually collect lingerie. I would compare myself to someone who collects a lot of shoes. I really like lingerie, and frankly, if I run up a pair of stairs, oh, like 2 stairs. If I run up a flight of stairs without a bra on, it's actually very painful. When your boobs are big enough to sag, you get boob sweat, and I don't want that when I'm out and about. However, when I'm at home, I'm gonna stop wearing a bra so much, and I'm gonna start working out my chest a lot more. But that is just a cosmetic preference, kind of like wearing a bra in the first place is, in my opinion, unless your boobs are so big that it's painful to not wear a bra. As for underwear, I'm probably gonna stop wearing underwear so often, to be completely frank. I'm glad I learned what I did. If I'm wearing skinny jeans though, I'm gonna have to wear underwear because I feel like not wearing underwear with skinny jeans would be a really bad thing. Maybe if I'm wearing skirts, I won't wear underwear. No, I'll wear boxers. I don't know why I'm telling you guys this. That's like too much information. I'm probably not gonna wear panties. Just a little update. CloudyApples. Underwear is a bit of a chore though. You should wash your panties after you wear them. Everybody probably knows that already. But bras are a bit of a different story. You can get away with not washing your bra for every 2 to 3 weeks, especially in the winter when you're not sweating very much. What matters is that you don't wear the same bra 2 days in a row because the bra needs a chance to really air out and reshape, especially if you want it to last a long time. I have this bra detergent that I wash my bras in, and this is just very gentle. It works really well on them, but if I'm too lazy to do that, then I put them in this little Tide thing and throw them in the washing machine, and this is just to make sure they don't get tangled up with everything else and ruin and rip my other clothes, which has happened in the past before. Or you can dry clean it, but nobody's got the money for that. Not me. Not anybody. I hope. You stay poor like me. While I was briefly looking into the history of women's underwear, I noticed as a recurring theme the controversy that what women wear and how they present themselves cause. People really get their panties up in a bunch, no pun intended, about women's choices, and it's really interesting like reading articles of people just yelling at each other like, women are stupid because they do this, and women being like, we're not stupid, you're stupid because you can't just let us do what we want to do. It's really interesting. It's kind of like that Blonde Ambition tour in 1990. I wasn't around for that, but when Madonna wore a Jean Paul Gaultier corset, it caused such a stir and gave her so much attention that the piece itself became iconic. It sold at auction for $52,000. That's a lot of money for a piece of shit. Well, I mean, it must have been good because it was designer, but sometimes I wonder what the world would be like if we didn't care so much about what women wore. Like if a woman was wearing, if she was presenting her art, but she was wearing something really revealing and we just kind of focused on the art rather than her outfit. Sometimes I wonder what the world would be like if that was a thing. In conclusion, bras are kind of like that popular girl at school that nobody really knows why she's popular. Panties are like her shy best friend who doesn't really talk but is super evil. And corsets are like that really weird kid that gets bullied a lot and is never gonna be understood. I think it's really, really interesting how corsets really played with proportion. If your waist was really small, your curves would look really big, and now we wear padded bras and we work out at the gym and do squats for those same reasons. Some people get plastic surgery, and some people just play with clothes. You can never really underestimate the power of clothes. I always fondly think back to that Jenna Marbles video where this guy was like, women in the Olympics are like guys and they don't even have boobs, and Jenna Marbles was like, this is how I look in a sports bra, and this is how I look in a bikini. Like, the power of clothes is pretty crazy, but most importantly, why do you care? And I think that's a really good question to ask, is like, why do some people get so invested in how women present themselves and what they do with their bodies? It's really interesting. Actually, when women started wearing pants back in the day, that was such a controversy, and satirists just went crazy, like just drawing things of women trying to be like men and praising the pants. And I don't know, I just feel like we should be able to have conversations about stuff like this without getting mad at each other. Of course, you can insult the practice as much as you want. If you think tight lacing is the dumbest thing ever, you can totally say that, but insulting the women just kind of takes it to a level that is kind of silly. I will link everything that I referred to and used as inspiration for this video in the description box. It is definitely worth looking at, and I would also love to have a conversation about underwear in the comments. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please give me a thumbs up if you did, and I will see you on the next one. Bye!